welcome back to our YouTube channel where we've been uploading our messages each week. We've been in our series Happy Easter, where we've been leading up to this Sunday, which is Easter, and we're going to celebrate Jesus' resurrection, especially in hard times like the one that our world is facing right now. So right now we have Happy Easter week 3.
Have you ever felt alone? Growing up, I went to 3 different elementary schools and 2 different middle schools. I know what it's like to be the new kid, and it was really easy to feel all alone. To walk into a lunchroom and not have someone to sit with, to go out to recess and play by myself, or to not have a partner for a project. I got really good at being the new kid. And not only that, but I had to learn how to adapt to new contexts, and even at an early age, I had to learn how to put myself out there and make friends. I've definitely had my share of seasons of feeling alone. And I'm sure that up to this point in your life, you know what that's like as well. Maybe it was because of a breakup you went through. Or maybe a best friend left you for another friend group. Maybe it was because your family moved. Maybe it was because of a decision or choice you made that people didn't understand. Or maybe it was a fear or question that you had that set you apart from others. Needless to say, we've all had our share of feeling alone. Especially in this season, things are really different right now. And it's hard not to feel alone while we are social distancing and sheltering in place. And maybe you've had feelings of being on your own or being alone these last few weeks. But here's the thing. When we start to feel like we're on our own, we believe things that feel true in the moment, but really aren't. Like, I'm all on my own. I can't make it through this. I can't do this on my own. Loneliness tends to make us feel hopeless and overwhelmed. In fact, in our country, loneliness has given way to a rise in depression, anxiety, self-harm, and even suicide. So what do we do with this? How do we handle this? This is where Easter comes into play. You see, Jesus' followers and close friends found themselves in a similar situation. They've been following Jesus for a few years now, and all of a sudden, they found their leader dead, nailed to a cross, suffering a public death, and then buried in the ground. They felt overwhelmed, they felt hopeless, they felt alone. I mean, these guys left families and jobs and finances to follow this guy who they really trusted in. This guy who they thought was going to be the king and bring justice to the oppressed government, and now all of a sudden he was dead. Can you imagine what it must have felt like? Now, we know the end of the story. After 3 lonely and hopeless days, Jesus rose from the dead and shocked everyone, but his followers didn't know that. So you can imagine the shock and relief that they felt when this happened. That is, until he left again. That's right, Jesus left again. And that might seem cruel unless we understand why. In John 16, Jesus is having his final dinner with his followers before he was going to be betrayed and put to death. And during this final dinner, he tells them this: "But now I am going away to the one who sent me, and not one of you is asking where I am going. Instead, you grieve because of what I've told you. But in fact, it is best for you that I go away, because if I don't, the advocate won't come. If I do go away, then I will send him to you." Can you believe that Jesus really said it's best if I go? Come on, really? Yes. Because Jesus was saying if he didn't go, then the advocate couldn't come. Now I love this word advocate. It means helper, encourager, comforter, counselor, and defender. And what Jesus meant when he used this word advocate was the Holy Spirit. It's the Spirit of Jesus that is present among us, even though he is not here with us physically. He is the one who helps us and comforts us and gives us wisdom and power beyond our own. The Spirit came to earth when Jesus left earth. Okay, so why is this better than Jesus being here on earth? Well, think about it. When Jesus was here on earth, he was just one person who could be in one place at one time. But now that the Holy Spirit is here, the Holy Spirit fills and dwells and is present with everyone who trusts and follows Jesus. So rather than being in one place at one time, The Holy Spirit is now anywhere and everywhere where Christians are. Though Jesus was leaving, they wouldn't be alone. But Jesus' promise to send the advocate was not just for his first followers, but also for his future followers. We who follow Jesus now have that same Spirit who helps us, protects us, comforts us, and encourages us. So, just like the early followers of Jesus who felt helpless, abandoned, and alone, we too can have seasons in our lives where we feel that same way. But part of what the Easter story tells us is that we are never alone. Here's what this means for us. First, through the Spirit, we can find comfort in times where we need it the most. Here at Crossroads, we talk about God being a safe place and a refuge, and we experience that through the Spirit. Second, through the Spirit, we can talk to God anytime, any place. We don't need to go to a church or some special place to access God's presence. We can enter into God's presence whenever and wherever we are. Third, through the Spirit, we can have a new strength and power to face the hard things in life. Like seasons of loneliness and depression or the sin that we struggle with, the Holy Spirit can give power to face those things. Next time you are feeling alone, come back to these truths and remember that Easter means you are never alone. So, let's recap what we've been learning the last few weeks. Easter means that fear isn't final. Easter means that new life is possible. And Easter means that you are never alone. As we wrap up, we're going to finish with a time of reflection. We've asked Malachi Lawson to record a cover of the song Another in the Fire. You may be familiar with it, but if not, it's a song all about how because of Easter, we aren't alone in the things that we face. As you listen to these lyrics, I want you to get something to write on. A new note in your phone or a piece of paper will do just fine. Then, write down a few new insights that you've gained about Easter, and answer the question for yourself, what does Easter mean to you?
There's a grace when the heart is under fire. Another way when the walls are closing in. And when I look at the space between where I used to be and this reckoning, I know I will never be alone. There was another in the fire, standing next to me. Another in the waters, holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding of how I've been set free, there is a cross that bears the burden, where another died for me. There is another in the fire. My dead left for dead beneath the waters. I'm no longer a slave to my sin anymore. And should I fall in the space between what remains of me and this reckoning, either way I won't bow to the things of this world. And I know I will never be alone. There is another in the fire, standing next to me. There is another in the waters, holding back the seas. Should I ever need reminding what power set me free, there is a grave that holds nobody. Now that power lives in me. There is another in the fire. Fire. Can see the light in the dark. I can hear the roar in the heavens as the space between west and I can feel the ground shake beneath us as the prison walls cave in. Nothing stands between us. Nothing stands between us. There is no other name but the name that is Jesus. He who was and still is and will be through it all. So come what may in the space between all the things unseen and this reckoning, I know I will never be alone. I know I will never be alone. There is another in the fire standing next to me. There is another in the waters holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding what power set me free, there is a grave that holds no body. Now the power lives in me.
Thanks for that, Malachi, and thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you come back next week. We're going to start a brand new series, so we'd love to have you watch and discuss with us about what we're going to talk about. If you guys want to connect in any way, please do so. You can call us, you can text us, you can email us, Instagram, Facebook, comment on this video. There's lots of options. We want to stay in touch with you, so please reach out. Have a great week.